A king with modern cities, factories, and oil wealth, but still no love from his people. But a cleric in exile who would return to topple the throne. This is what the Iranian revolution story is for you all. Remember, guys, you're watching Study IQ as English. My name is Praveen Mishra, and here I welcome you all to the very next episode of our Study IQ Global. As promised, we shall be going ahead with the detailed investigation and learning of the Saudi-Iran conflict. But before understanding the Saudi-Iran conflict, let's go ahead with the grassroots from where the conflict started. So it was the year 1979, the Iranian Revolution. Right, guys? So let's start with the basic discussion. In next couple of minutes, you will be getting the clear picture of the so-called incidents of the revolution. Whether it was a revolution or a setback to the state of Iran, that will be your judgment at the end of the session. Please let us know into the comment section, right? So Iran in 1970s was basically ruled by a dynasty that is known as Pahlavi dynasty. And the ruler's name was Shah Muhammad Reza Pahlavi. Okay, obviously from the Pahlavi dynasty. So he was a person, as stated by many of the philosophers, who was a person with wisdom and good amount of wiseness. But still, he was a person who was biased, who was focusing more on growth and development, and in the hunt of growth and development, he would often ignore the voices, grievances, as well as the griefs of the poor masses, specifically the rural people, specifically the farmers. And this is where the showdown, this is where the slowdown, and this is where the downfall of the empires they do start. History is the biggest evidence to it, right? So here we go. He wanted to modernize Iran quickly with good roads,
Okay,
factories.
I found this on the web for is the biggest evidence to write. Check it out.
AI is at its best. You heard just about the voice of Siri, and it's quite trusting. I even didn't asked her. So, hey Siri, please stay silent for next couple of minutes, right?
Sorry, I can't help
Ah.
you with that.
Okay, let me just get rid with this. So, Iran, sorry for the inconvenience, guys. AI is at its right. So, what happened? He wanted to just go ahead with the proper roads, factories, schools, and even the Western style culture. And this was termed as the White Revolution by the Iranian government at the time. But the problem was, not everyone liked this. Cities grew, but the ignorant behavior of Shah Pahlavi let the poor go more poor, specifically the farmers. Okay, and his modernized thoughts were actually displeasing a lot to the clerics, to the orthodox stereotype Shia Muslim clerics of Iran. As you can see, traditional religious leaders, basically the clergy, felt that this westernization and modern laws were destroying Iran's Islamic culture. Now, final nail to the coffin was Shah's own private police that was named as Sawak, who was having the authority to capture anyone and torture anyone anytime it wants, right? So now, this thing was also disturbing the local people along with the other leaders of Iran as well. So as you can see, people also disliked Shah's autocratic rule and his secret police named as Sawak that arrested and tortured anyone who dared to oppose Shah Pahlavi. So this is where the mixture was getting ready. This is where the particular ingredients were there of revolution. And now you'll see the next big thing here. The rise of Ayatollah Khomeini. Basically a Shia clergy, but who gained too much of popularity in the hearts of the local Shia Muslim population. The name is Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, who was a powerful Shia cleric who opposed the Shah's rule. He argued that Iran should not be ruled by the king who follows Western interests, but by a government based on Islamic laws. And so he gained the popularity. But Shah was Shah. Shah Pahlavi was an autocratic ruler. With his intention to develop Iran at the earliest possible time, he just suppressed many of the leaders, including Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. And so in 1964, in order to save his life, Khomeini had to flee from Iran and took shelter in Iraq. And he returned only 1.5 decades later in the year 1979, right? So the growing unrest in Iran, as you can see, by 1970s, just the ordinary Iranians, basically the workers, students, religious groups, were now quite angry at the economic inequality, corruption, and the oppression. Strikes and protests, they became the daily activity of the people. And cities like the capital city Tehran, of the most advanced cities, Qom and Isfahan, they were now surrounded with only and only the blood. As you can see, the facts, the shops, schools, and even the refineries, the oil refineries, which were the lifeline of the Iran's economy, were shut down. And now here comes in Khomeini's messages. Sent from France. After Iraq, he reached France. Reached Iranians through tapes, letters, and even radio broadcasts, which inspired the people to raise their voices against the Shah. Though in exile, Khomeini represented that even if I am not there, I will rule the hearts of the Iranians. And so it happened. And now it was the time to exile. For whom? For the incumbent ruler. The name is obviously Shah Reza Pahlavi. So in January 1979, as you can see, Shah realized he could no longer control the country, and massive protests and strikes made it impossible to govern. So, with the help of the United States of America, he left Iran temporarily for medical treatment, but in reality, never returned. Right? See the power of public. They made an autocratic ruler to give a medical reason, a medical excuse to flee from his own country. Just looking like, in your school, college days, or even if you're working, you do provide that fake medical excuses that I'm unwell, I'm ill, I'm having headache, stomach ache, this pain, that pain, this fever, etc. So this is what the company do. But think about it. A ruler doing such a thing, come on, that is absolute devastation. So with the help of US, he flew. First he went to Egypt, then to Morocco, the Bahamas, and then finally to the Mexico, right? Where he was seen last by 1980s. In reality, he never returned. But after his exile was the time for the return of Ayatollah Khomeini. On February 1, exactly 1979, Khomeini returned from France to Tehran, that is the capital city of Iran. And millions, literally, it was one of the largest gatherings of the time. Millions of Iranians, they do welcomed him like a hero in exile since last 15 years. But this time he was welcomed. That yes, Iranians, they have got their own hero. And now the Shah's monarchy collapsed completely. By the end of February same year, Iran became an Islamic republic with Khomeini as its supreme leader. Just imagine, revolution without the leader. Leader is in exile, sending letters, tapes, and radio broadcasts. And when he returned as a hero. And within 1 month of his return, he is now supreme leader of Iran. See, a very odd, very out of the blues type story, but reality. This revolution created ruckus and chaos and too much of turbulences in geopolitics. And here are the implications, the consequences. The US-Iran relations, you'll see the disaster. The US embassy in Tehran was seized and 52 Americans were held hostages for around 444 days, creating a huge international chaos. US ambassadors are taken as hostages for around 3.5 years by Iran. It was the time of 1979. Russo-Afghan war is going on. The Middle East is burning. Kuwait is just almost about to fall. Right? Gaddafi is there. Libya. What's the name? Yeah, Gaddafi in Libya. Gaddafi is there. Right? So Muammar Gaddafi in Iraq. It's Saddam Hussein. And at that time, just imagine the vacuum that would have been created. Libya, Muammar Gaddafi. Iraq, Saddam. Iran, Khomeini. Russia, Russo-Afghan war going on. Berlin Wall has fallen. Right? India-Pakistan wars, they have already toppled too much of the US administration. China growing its power. South Asia almost there onto the verge that it doesn't need the Western support anymore. It was the time of the question of the US hegemony. So here are the implications. The oil and global politics. What happened next? As you can see, the disaster. Iran being a major oil producer, the revolution caused the oil prices to spike, affecting the global economy. Now it was the time for the spread of the Islamic ideology, not just in Iran, but throughout the Middle East. Khomeini's success inspired Islamist movement across the whole Middle East, challenging the pro-Western governments. There comes in the rise of chaos and the Cold Wars between not just Russia and US, USSR and US, but it was also the US versus the whole of Middle East. And now the question, how did this revolution succeed? As you can see, the very common reasons. The widespread dissatisfaction among the people, the charismatic leadership of Khomeini, support from ordinary people, and weak monarchy. Though I personally am not the strong seconder of this line, weak monarchy, but still. Shah was isolated and couldn't rely on the loyal forces anymore to suppress the revolution. Secret police Savak was already having the Trojan horse within themselves. Right? And now, the learnings for us. The Iranian Revolution shows how a discontented society, plus Islamic leadership, plus charismatic leadership, plus oppressive ruler, plus foreign involvement can topple even a seemingly strong regime. So ingredients disturb any geopolitical, political, domestic politics at any cost. And so it's the lessons for us, that is India. Understanding this helps in analyzing West Asia politics, energy security, the rise of political Islam. A term that has been very common these days, that is strategic autonomy, strategic sovereignty. And we must learn it from the Iranian Revolution. Right, everyone? So this ends the episode 1 of the Iran-Saudi conflict. We have learned about the Iranian Revolution, and the next episode will lead us to the understanding of the conflict between Iran and Saudi Arabia. So guys, please hit the subscribe button of the channel StudyIQIASEnglish so that you never miss an update. And in case you wish to connect with me for any discussion, PYQs, MCQs, model subjective questions, the discussions, the class links, and other important reading material, you can connect with me on my Telegram channel that is named as Praveen_StudyIQ. You can just go on the search bar, okay, and type the channel name Praveen_StudyIQ, or simply you can scan this QR code and connect with me. Further, you can also join me on my Instagram that is named as Praveen Mishra_2107. But before you leave, guys, hit the subscribe button and never miss an update from the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Good day. Take care. Keep studying well. And yes, we'll meet up very soon in the next episode of StudyIQ Global on the same channel, that is StudyIQ as English. Keep studying well. Take care. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.